What's up, guys? It's the Chrome Corner, back again with some fight picks. It's UFC Fight Night, and the main event is Marvin Vettori versus Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland is now filling in for Darren Till, who was supposed to be fighting Marvin Vettori. Apparently, Till has a broken collarbone, so he had to withdraw from the fight. So, our guest, Charlie T, your boy, Charlie T, what's going on, man?
Well, I decided to quit my job as a professional clothes digger and become a trucker. Wear my trucker's hat.
Per the snap-on hat.
I'm just kidding. My hair is wet, so I'm wearing a hat. I look kind of goofy in it, but whatever. Let's go.
Let's go. Charlie T got fresh for y'all. Straight out the shower, hair wet, had to throw on the hat. Had to snap on the hat. We'll put it like that.
Snap on, snap off. Let's go.
It's about to pop off. Let's go. All right. First fight of the main card is Mike Perry versus Daniel Rodriguez. Mike Perry is coming off of a loss. Also had a kid pretty recently, as we all know, because he's pretty well out there in the news and everything in MMA. Daniel Rodriguez is also coming off of a loss. But Charlie T, who do you have and why?
So this is a pretty, tough matchup just because Mike Perry has been streaking as of recent. He had an impressive win over Mickey Gall where he just, pretty much worked in the entire fight. Then he comes back and loses that decision to Tim Means. Like I said, he got off to a great start in the UFC. I think he was 11-1 at one point, and he's just been kind of on the downside recently. But I think he bounces back here. I take Mike Perry by unanimous decision. I don't think Rodriguez can go 3 rounds. I think Mike Perry's still an elite fighter at this point. So.
Perry is a wild man, as we know, so you never know what to expect with that dude. So I'm going to roll with Perry as well. I think he bounces back in this too. I think that Perry is streaky, kind of like you said, but he only faces the best because he's a big name. So he faces a lot of either the top guys or their big names. So I think from what I can see in interviews and stuff, he seems like he's in a pretty good place. It will be interesting to see how having the kid and whatnot affects him, with him seeming so much more calm now. Because I feel like some guys that can really help, like I feel like it really helped Cowboy kind of get into a groove when he had the kid. And then some people, it's almost like it softens them up too much, in a certain way, or instead of them fighting for the kid and that be their mentality. I don't know. I think it's up to the individual, but that'd be interesting to see.
Well, I'm just going to say, we're both picking Platinum Mike Perry, but let's just say I won't be surprised if Rodriguez wins this fight decision because Mike Perry hasn't knocked anybody out. Gosh, I think his last win was like 2016 or 2017 when he had his last knockout win. I hope it comes back because he's a fun fighter to watch.
Oh, yeah. He definitely always comes out fighting hard, that's for sure. He's going to try to put on a show at least, so should be fun. Nina Nunes, her new last name is Nunes, versus Mackenzie Dern. Nunes is ranked number 5, and Dern is ranked number 11. Nunes, fresh off having a child as well, so I don't know how that will affect her, but it's always a possibility coming back from that may have an effect on her. Kenzie Dern's on a streak, she's highly touted, and it's my. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, she won her last 3. She's had two submissions in her last 3 fights. She's no slouch. She only had 1 loss on her record.
Jiu-jitsu for Dern is outstanding, it seems like. And so, assuming they've already all made weight, right? I don't think anyone missed weight.
No, I don't think anyone missed weight.
Okay, because I know Dern she's missed weight before, correct?
Yeah.
Once or twice maybe. I think it actually was an issue for a minute, but so she made weight apparently, so that's a good sign, I'm going to go with Mackenzie Dern. I think that she's up and coming, and I think this is going to be a fight that jumps her up a lot in the rankings. And with the rankings of females as well, I mean, you can see Nina Nunes she's 10-6 and she's number 5. You don't see that type of a record that often in, say, like men's MMA, just because there's way more fighters, you know. So I think Mackenzie Dern probably should already be ranked higher, but we just have to see more of her to do it. So I think she's gonna beat Nina Nunes by submission, and then she's gonna take her spot at number 5 or 6.
Well, here's the thing about Nina and Sarah Nunes. She, before that last fight against Tatiana Suarez, where she got pretty much dominated. Let's not sugarcoat it at all. She was on a 4-5 win streak. They were all decision. I think one was a submission, but the rest were decision victories. She's a very good fighter, but her problem is she gets taken down. When she got taken down at Suarez fight, you notice she didn't have an answer for that. I mean, she didn't get finished, but she didn't seem to respond well to those takedowns. And we've seen Mackenzie Dern do one thing well when she fights. It's, she's really good at takedowns and she's really good at submissions. And I mean, I don't know why everyone's so confident in Nina. I mean, she's been out of the octagon for almost 2 years. I mean, it's April of 2021. The last fight was June of 19. I like Mackenzie Dern. I think she controls the pace of the fight. I think she takes her down, and I wouldn't be surprised if she submits her. I think she wins by decision, but I think a submission is very possible for Mackenzie Dern, so I'm rolling with her.
The next fight. This one is pretty interesting to me because you've got a long-time veteran versus a pretty fresh newcomer.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is literally the veteran versus the rookie in a sense in this fight. We got Sam Alvey versus Julian Marquez. Sam Alvey is coming off of a bad streak of about 4 losses. Is it 4 or 3?
I think it's 3.
3.
At the look.
And Julian Marquez is coming off of a win. Right before that fight, he did have a loss, but
Alvey has 4 straight losses and a draw, so he's streaky.
It's very streaky. He has fought a lot of big names. He's been around a while. He's a tough, hard-nosed guy. Julian Marquez is really fresh in the game, came off the Contender Series. He's a pretty big favorite. He's minus 200. So if you're into betting and you like veterans,
you haven't mentioned the best part.
that he's dating Miley Cyrus.
No, not that.
I'm just messing around. Go ahead. What?
Dude, what's the best part about him?
About who?
Marquez.
About Marquez?
Yeah. Dude, his fucking nickname is the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Oh, the Cuban Missile Crisis. I forgot that's his nickname. He just doesn't. I don't even think Cuban when I see him. I guess he's Cuban, but he.
Look, Julian Marquez fucking dominated Pitolo in the last fight. That submission was nasty. Sam Alvey, I mean, I enjoy watching him fight. I think he's a veteran, of course. He's been around. He's been through it. He's been through wars. But I mean, he's a journeyman fighter at the end of the day. That's nothing against him as a fighter. I mean, he's way more successful than I am, of course. But yeah, like again, Marquez is up and coming. He's a prospect. And we saw him at UFC 258. He means business, and I think he finishes Sam Alvey. I think he wins. I don't like to call a submission. I think he knocks him out round 2.
Okay.
Marquez has a pretty impressive record of knockouts, so I'm taking Marquez by KO.
Marquez by KO. Okay. So I am going to pick the same. I'm going to go with Julian Marquez as well. But I will add a little bit of an asterisk to it because I'm not very confident. I'm not as confident as you in this, only because I did see, I guess it was, I don't know if it was which fight it was, but it was a recent fight with Marquez. And he got a little outmanned on the feet. He was, I don't know what it was, maybe it was the style matchup. But I know that Sam Alvey is willing to sit there and bang. Now, does he always win those? No. Is he a crazy great striker, finesse striker? No. But I just know he's a gritty veteran, and it wouldn't surprise me all too much if he came back after 4 losses and pulled out a win somehow because he's a gritty veteran. But I'm picking Marquez as well.
I think it's one of those situations where, the UFC recognizes they have a contender in Marquez. They have a guy who can climb the ranks, and they want to put out a opponent who seems tough on paper, but in reality is reeling from a lot of, tough losses in a row, and they're serving him up. I mean, Marquez, this is his second fight in 2 months. He's an active fighter. They think he's going to run through Alvey, and we'll see.
It's definitely looks like an alley-oop for sure for Marquez. We'll see if he catches it and slams it. Next fight, so we picked all 3 the same so far. Next fight, we've got 2, I would say probably the least known 2 fighters on the main card. We've got Arnold Allen and Sadiq Youssef. Arnold Allen's ranked number 10 and Youssef is number 11. So their rankings are pretty similar. They're both coming off of a win, and their records are not too different either. Arnold Allen is 16-1 and Sadiq Youssef is 11-1. So we're back to me on this pick. And I had to really think about this one because I've never seen Arnold Allen fight. And so
he's good. He's real good. I'm a fan. I'll just say that.
I've seen Sadiq fight, but not Arnold Allen. So, and I was pretty impressed with Sadiq as a young fighter. But man, so when you watch, let me ask you this. I'll stick with my pick up here just because I don't want to be too wishy-washy. But did you watch him fight Arnold Allen?
Yeah.
So is he a good wrestler or is he just a good jiu-jitsu guy? Because I saw some submissions.
So when he fought Gilbert Melendez, you kind of saw his wide range of skill, especially on the ground. Nick Lentz is a good fighter. Nick Lentz has been around the block, and Allen just worked him, man. I mean, this guy's something serious.
Was it with his wrestling or what was it with?
Mostly with his wrestling, but it's just like he's just really well-rounded. I don't think there are really any holes in his game. But he's not that striking.
Okay.
I mean, most of his finishes in the UFC have come by submission, but he's not a bad striker. And in this game, you have the best example of all. Khabib was, he was a good striker, but he was a fucking amazing wrestler. And that's all it takes. If you can submit people and you can wrestle, then you can be a champ in the UFC. I mean, Ben Askren obviously couldn't avoid flying knees, but dude, I'm a big fan of Arnold Allen. The Melendez fight kind of, opened my eyes to this guy being really good. But Nick Lentz, that victory, man, he was on point.
Well, it typically does go the way of the wrestler when it's a striker versus a wrestler, and we know that Sadiq is mainly a striker. Mm-hmm. I'm going to stick with my pick, like I said, just because I didn't get to do the research. So it sounds like if he is a really good wrestler, meaning Arnold Allen, then I probably would have went with him. But I'll stick with my pick with Sadiq Youssef, and I'll just throw a decision. I'll go decision. Who do you got? Yeah, I'm assuming Arnold Allen.
I like Arnold Allen. I like him on the ground.
Yeah.
God, man, after watching the Melendez and Nick Lentz fights, I'm basing my pick off those two performances.
All right, so you got Arnold Allen. That's our first differing pick. And now we're on to the main event of the night, coming to the end of the fight card and end of the video. Marvin Vettori versus Kevin Holland. Kevin, Big Mouth Holland, who always steps in on short notice, it seems like, is doing it again. Vettori is ranked number 6th. Holland's ranked number 10. Vettori is a heavy favorite at minus 335, which probably has a lot to do with Kevin Holland coming off of a loss and he's stepping in on short notice. Vettori's coming off of a win. He had that great win against Jack Hermanson. Looked amazing in that fight. I do think it was overlooked a little bit that he took a little bit too many punches. I think he got hit too much in that fight, but he did dominate overall. When you took a look at the overall landscape of the fight.
Well, we watched the Derek Brunson Kevin Holland fight. We saw the whole Holland game. Obviously, he gets taken down. Brunson controlled the pace of the fight. He did what he wanted to with Holland. And, dude, Vettori, if you watch his fights, he's very hard to take down. He has very good takedown defense, and he can grapple really well. And his stand-up is not the best, but it's, decent. And I don't think anybody, especially, Kevin Holland can't out-grapple him. And if he goes to the ground, Vettori's going to control the pace of the fight. I mean, I just think Kevin Holland is nothing against him. I think he's great, but he's just a one-dimensional type of guy. You take it to the ground, and he's kind of lost. I mean, I don't know why he stepped in. I think this is a bad matchup for him. I think if the fight goes very similar to the Brunson fight, I think he ends the decision. Vettori wins. Kevin Holland goes back to the drawing board, needs to get better on the ground.
Okay. Well, I don't disagree with anything you said. Marvin Vettori, I think he probably is. We haven't seen him grapple too much. We've seen him do some defensive grappling, and he's pretty good at takedown defense. But I would say that I would obviously give him the nod over Kevin Holland on the ground. On the feet, I would give Kevin Holland the nod, but Vettori's not far behind. He's pretty good striker. And I had a tough time actually picking who I thought was going to win this fight, because when I watch Vettori fight, man, he seems so stiff to me, which brings power sometimes, and it brings toughness. I've noticed that he's never been knocked out. I looked at his record. He's never once been knocked out. Every loss he's had has been, I think he might have had a submission on there, but usually a decision. So he's a tough dude, and he's never been knocked out, which also leads to people not being scared of being knocked out as well. Kevin Holland has like a 4 or 5 inch reach advantage on him, and he's definitely going to have a speed advantage. I think it's going to come down to, can Vettori get within Holland's range and up against the cage. I don't think he's going to be shooting double legs and singles from open areas like a Brunson would. I don't think he's that good of a wrestler, but I think if he can get up in on Holland, he's going to be stronger. And if he gets him down, like you said, it's going to be probably a dominant performance, or at least for whatever rounds he can do that. But I don't know, man. I'm going to pick Holland because I don't think that Vettori's going to be able to do it at least 2 out of 3 rounds. I think he might be able to do that for 1, and I think the other 2 rounds, Holland outstrikes him on the feet. I think he's faster, and I think his reach keeps him away. But I wouldn't be surprised either way, and I know I'm kind of going out on a limb here with the pick.
You're killing me. You're killing me.
Killing me. Hey, look. You can't see it. Hold on. I'll show you. You're killing me, Smalls.
You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me, Smalls. I mean, you're a brave guy, Biggie Holland. You're great after that last afraid.
But I'll tell you why is I don't see. I think Vettori's better than Brunson. Not by a long shot, but I think he's better than Brunson. But I don't think Vettori's the wrestler that Brunson is. Brunson is more of a quick, athletic wrestler. Vettori's more of a strong, control you in grappling guy. That's how I see him.
I just think there's one thing that you're gonna. Holland's very confident. He's a very mouthy fighter, but he's coming off a very decisive loss, and I think he's so eager to get back in the octagon and kind of prove that was a fluke against Brunson. I mean, basically just get back on the winning side of things. Last time I saw somebody do that this quick, I mean, way quicker, was Michael Bisping when he lost to St. Pierre. He got back in the ring with, it was
who was it?
Was
it Silva? No.
No, Silva. It was.
You're talking about Gastelum, yeah.
Yeah, he thought he could do it against Gastelum, and Gastelum knocked his fucking lights out. Gastelum's a fucking monster, dude. But anyways, Holland, I wish him the best. I hope he does well. But I think he's jumping back in a little early. I don't think he's game playing this. I think he took the fight on short notice, and we'll see. But I don't think he wins.
We'll see. It's going to be tough for him. And you know what? To be honest, I hate that both of these guys. And I was even hating the fact that Darren Till and Vettori were about to fight. I love it for like being a fan and watching it, but I hate it for the fact that I like all of these guys. I like watching Darren Till fight. I like Holland and I like Vettori, and I want to see them all climb the ranks, but they have to knock each other out.
I think Darren Till is a different story. Darren Till, I don't think he can lose this fight.
Yeah, Till's a pretty big guy in there. He's a gorilla.
Speaking of, Ryan Bader just fucking destroyed Machida.
In the Bellator?
Yeah, he beat him up pretty bad, so.
Oh, shoot. Machida's getting over the hill?
Darth Bader was on.
So who else, did they keep fighting tonight?
I don't think so. I think that's the main fight tonight. But yeah, Ryan Bader, he's still a force in Bellator. He took it to Machida. His ground and pound is still A1, man.
Well,
Ryan Darth Bader.
Darth Bader. Respect to him.
Respect. Double champ. Bellator double champ.
Still, I'm sure just everybody else would agree with me, I still can't wait to see Rumble versus Yoel.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Those are two guys that can knock anyone's lights out.
Who do you think gets it? Or do you have a pick yet? Or do you want to wait for a video and do it?
We can do a video on Bellator. I'm down for it. I mean, I got some interesting takes on that. So.
Okay, we'll wait and do that. All right, guys, that's our picks for the UFC Fight Night. Vettori versus Holland. I'm Chrome. That's Charlie T. You're killing me, Smalls. We're out.